Do you know the average American has a 98 square foot bathroom? Well, I guess I basically lived in a bathroom full time on wheels for 6 years. This is my story. So obviously the awesome part about having your house with you on the road is you can be where you want to be with your house. Pretty sweet. So without further ado, I figure we'll check out the house. Sitting on a 1996 Ford F350 7.3 Power Stroke diesel. Holds the weight just fine, pulls it just fine. Stops a lot better than my Toyota motorhome did. And I've got a 6-inch lift, some 35s, and some airbags. So those airbags kind of help keep the back up a little better. But yeah, it's an awesome truck. Nice and trustworthy. Done a couple things to it, obviously. Yeah, I'll go check out the interior and then show you the house. So one of my favorite parts about this setup is the RV company took this truck in '96 from the factory and put these nice cush seats in here. Super cozy. Seat 5 people pretty easy. Walnut trimmed it out. Get all the gauges so I can make sure nothing's overheating and whatnot. Yeah, just super cozy truck. I installed a backup camera. So obviously I don't have a window on the back, so I can't see what's going on. Yep, let's go check out this house. So up here you can see I've got a 100-watt solar panel. I did metal roofing, and I spaced the screws out about 4 to 6 inches for the most part, so it stays on pretty nice. So here's the pad. You guys come on inside. Pop these stairs down here. Get a little release latch right there. A little release latch here. And they just fold on out. Pretty sweet. Hell of a lot better than a stepladder. You can see the frame is essentially 2x4 with a 3/4 inch plywood subfloor on top. And under the bottom here, I've just got another 3/8 sheet of plywood, and I actually truck bed lined it so it stays nice and waterproof. So honestly, the main reason I started not really filming but doing the blog back in 2011 and 12 is like when I wanted to get into this. That's kind of before the whole van life movement started things, so there wasn't a whole bunch of like vlogging and videos on it and stuff like that. And I honestly couldn't find a whole lot of information about just living full-time in a camper in cold weather without like a dedicated spot to park in, you know, where you're off grid all the time. So I thought that would be valuable information just to share my experiences and what I learned with you guys. And so how did I get into this lifestyle? Well, first off, Americans spend 37% of their income on housing, which is crazy. I've always lived with roommates, so we'd go in a house and roommates would move out, then I'd have to move too, and I just got tired of moving my stuff. Life in the road just made sense. I don't know, I love whitewater kayaking and skiing and snow machining and flying and playing music and going to festivals, watching bands, hanging out with friends. Just being active and doing stuff just keeps life interesting. In 2011, I just made the decision, all right, I'm gonna buy a motorhome. I'm gonna live in it until I can build a house. And that was the deal I made with myself. Once I got that Toyota motorhome, I came on back up to Alaska. Awesome road trip. And I just lived out a fairly normal life. I still worked during the week, full-time job. And I would just move around to a new spot every night. And I think that's key, is just like keeping moving every day. You don't want to be that person chilling out in the spot for a couple weeks, getting all sketchy with your barbecue grill and baby strollers. So in 2018, my dad drove up here from North Georgia mountains up to Girdwood, Alaska, where I bought a piece of property, and we built a cabin together up there, and it was absolutely incredible experience. Just getting to spend time with him and just create something together like that. It's gonna stick with me a while. Once that happened, I decided to sell that Toyota motorhome just because I'm not full-timing anymore. But at the same time, I didn't want to give up the lifestyle. I love having your house with you where you go in your own space. So I wanted to create something that just encompassed everything I learned from 6 years of full-timing in that Toyota. Just all the negative things of the Toyota, or whatever I thought I could improve. I wanted to just create that in a new format, in a little more capable vehicle that can hold the weight and handle the maneuver better, I guess you could say. But anyway, yeah, that's the inspiration behind the house. So I suppose you guys probably want a tour of the pad here. Let's check it out. Yeah, so this is where my propane furnace vents are, right there and right there on the bottom. Inside I've got my charge controller, propane tank. I'm gonna separate these with a little wall later, so it's not quite as sketchy, and just my battery and my furnace and stuff. This other side, firewood storage. Oh yeah, or like wet kayaking gear. And then I've got these little hooks in the summer so I can hang my just wet boating gear up in the porch. Nice big roof, so yeah, you can totally sit down and chill anywhere and stay dry. Let's see. Let's go inside. This is the first door I ever built in my life. You know what? I feel like it turned out well. I'm just gonna say it. Some slightly ghetto stuff about it, but insulated in between and just used basically fence pickets, cedar fence pickets, and yeah, it turned out pretty well. And then the big part was just sealing everything really, really well to keep the cold out. So here's the pad. Get some lights in here. Yeah. Close this door up. And here she is. So I guess first thing, the wood stove, completely essential up here, in my opinion. If you're off grid, you basically don't have a steady place to plug in to keep your batteries charged. And you're obviously not getting a whole bunch of solar up here in the wintertime. So if your alternator's not charging your camper, if you're not driving around at least 30 minutes a day, then you need a wood stove. It bakes the condensation out in here, so that's really awesome. Works really well for drying ski gear out. Got my firewood storage back in the back there. Under the bottom, you guys are gonna love this. Porta potty, so it's pretty sweet. Use the bathroom. Can even smell it. It's like a little flushing mechanism in the back right there. Super easy to clean and dump. So that's pretty essential. I've got a propane furnace right there. This time I designed it so I can be laying in bed and just hit the thermostat and on comes the heat. That's right. No more getting up with your pants off in -10. If the stove goes out, which I just let it go out most of the time. Inside the right side, we got a little ghetto drawer I built just to hold stuff. Full-size oven, because I'm telling you, man, baking that mac and cheese and lasagna is, when you're feeling lazy at least, is pretty priceless. Yep, so we get that full-on range. I didn't want to do running water per se and water pumps because you can't use it half the year up here, number one. And I like to keep it simple. So I basically bought this hand pump sink, 30 bucks. Just built a little thing to mount it to. And I run a tube back here right into a 5-gallon water tank. You can take that out super easy, fill it up. Yeah, that's super chill. I like the setup. I feel like RV camping, you don't really necessarily need a sink. I mean, honestly, you just dry wash dishes half the time anyway, in my experience. And yeah, it's just a wasted space. So, but I did want hand pump water. I won't have to pick up a jug every time. See what else we got. Battery indicator, so it shows you battery level. There's my dad up there back in the day. Good buddy Hav that passed a few years back. Still think about that kid every day. Got these little charging ports here, so a little place to rest cell phone or radios to charge or whatever. And another little 12-volt outlet right there, charge larger stuff. Another one over there on the wall. Just did LED lighting. Only uses 4 watts per light versus 60 for incandescent, so that's a no-brainer. The windows are freaking sweet. So the deal is, if you try to build your own camper and you put just a normal house window, just a double pane window that you see in a house, there's argon gas in between those panels, And when you're driving down the road, it shakes the gas, and that gas will escape, and then your windows condense permanently, basically. So I wanted to avoid that. I didn't want double pane. That was an option. Definitely didn't want old school like RV window, single pane windows. So there's two companies I found, Dometic and Maygood. Maygood's the Chinese combo, a little cheaper. Still got to finish the trim work in here a little, but they're super sweet. Got shades to pull up, screen on the top. It's pretty cool. And you can open them like so. Got these different settings. So that's pretty nice. And they're insulated, which is awesome. And there's no argon gas to shake out of them. What else? Did a TV up there, a DVD player, just for chilling. Same window on this side. It's a jackknife sofa, so I don't know if you can see this, but you just lift on it and it turns into a pretty large bed, large enough for me and the lady. And also wanted to make it so two dudes could sleep and not touch each other, so I did another full-size couch. Just took some foam, and yeah, you can just remove this back cushion, then you got like pretty much two nice areas to sleep. I do have a fridge freezer combo, so I just got this little hook in the ground. It comes off, and then you slide this out. Oh yeah, and yeah, pretty newish, but Dometic makes it. They're super efficient. They run off battery power, and your battery will last like, I don't know, I think my old man's is lasting like 5 or 6 days or something, like with it running all the time in Arizona, so that's pretty legit. Storage, I did not want to do cabinets up high because that's just a lot of shifting weight in my experience, and if you have a bunch of cabinets, you start filling them with stuff, and I don't know, I like to travel a little bit lighter, so, or now I do. So down here, there is some storage under the floor. You can lift that up. Actually, a lot of storage down there. More storage down there. The trash can. Right here, this is a cutting board. And just do like that. And then you have more counter space. And then for more counter space, I've got this thing comes out like that. And I've got a little dowel that holds it up, so that's nice, just to have a place to put stuff when you cook. Let's see, I believe that's most of the stuff. I've got a little more storage down here, like pots and pans and little rubber bungee. I'm still gonna build some cubbies down here. That's the majority of it, man. Yeah, this is the house. Pretty stoked with how it turned out. Yeah, okay. And so the cool part about just getting to build your own space is man, just creating exactly what you want. It's really awesome. So I like friends, so one of my biggest things was making 2 full-size couches fit in an 8-foot truck bed. Like, I know this is it may seem small in here, but this is an 8-foot truck bed. So I tried to pack everything I could in here. I wanted a wood stove, I wanted an oven, a propane furnace, a fridge, freezer, 2 full-size couches, 1 folds out into a bed, TV, storage, you name it. Just wanted to be comfortable. So I also decided to do spray foam insulation this time. That Toyota camper was, I mean, when the wood stove was going, it was good. But I learned that lesson, like, and I've seen a lot of people, most people use foam board, but I wasn't messing around this time. It's obviously cold up here in Alaska, so you gotta really do your best to seal that cold air out coming in, and spray foam worked really awesome. I was super happy with how that turned out. A little bit pricier to do, but totally worth it in my opinion. And honestly, it holds everything together really nice too. It's just adds to the structural integrity. Not that this thing needed anymore. So it's basically built out of 2x4s on the lower part of the box. I framed all the corners out of 2x4s. And there's kind of 2x2s for the in-between framing the windows and in between the doors and walls. For the roof rafters, I've got 2x3s. I don't want to go full 2x4. And for the ridge beams and for the hip roof, I did 2x4s. Hey, you gotta make your house as waterproof as possible if you want it to last. So with this thing, I wrapped it in Tyvek. And then for the roof, I use Grace Ice and Water Shield up top. And I actually like brought that down over the frame and wrapped it around and smashed it down with boards in the side. So it's sealed like just a mushroom cap on top. It's pretty legit. At least at the moment, she ain't leaking. So overall, I'd say it took about 2.5 months to build this. I spent pretty much a month planning it out, honestly. I just didn't want to mess around. I wanted to make sure everything was really squared up and good plans, and I just didn't want to have to waste money and have to redo things. So I wanted to make sure it was right the first time. And that planning definitely paid off. I had a lot of moments where I feel like if I wouldn't have planned it out well, then would have been not turned out too well. Living on the road, really, number one, it allows you to have your house in incredible places. I mean, so that's a win. Yeah, especially if you're into outdoor stuff and getting out and doing things in nature, you can just be right there. You don't have to go home at the end of the day. You're home where you're at, you know. It's pretty awesome. You meet a lot more people. Obviously, you're more social. You're going out more. So yeah, I've just made more friends than I've ever made before I had the camper, so that was cool. And honestly, just the lessons it teaches you, and just like conserving and not being wasteful. You just use less water, produce less trash. Yeah, just trying to live efficiently because you're, you know, living light and small. Yeah, it's good life lessons. And so if you're thinking about doing this yourself and just getting on the road, whether it be a van, a camper, a truck, a car, whatever, it doesn't matter really. Just do it. Yeah, so that's a wrap, guys. Hope you enjoyed the little show here. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can comment and I'll try to answer. And if not, then shoot me a personal message or something, or if you can check out my email or the blog, you can contact me that way. But yeah, I'd love, if you have any questions, I'd love to help you out however I can, so you can get yourself on the road and doing it. Yeah, so I hope to see you out there on the road or the mountains or dance floor or whatever, but just get out there is the whole point. And yeah, we'll see you guys again soon. Cheers.